What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe. No Days Off DFS here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for the 4-gamer that they're giving us over here on DraftKings for today. That was yesterday's slate. Let's pull up today's slate. We got 4 games. Granted, there is more than just 4 games on today, but the late night slates, this Phoenix taking on the Golden State Warriors, OKC taking on Clippers. That game is not on the main slate, so we don't have to worry about that. We're only going to be worrying about these teams right here: the Bucks, Toronto, Orlando, Atlanta, Charlotte, the Pelicans, which we just got some news that came out for the Pelicans. Going to be able to go over that. Philly and the Bulls. I'm going to make this as quick as I can just because I am recording this late in the afternoon. And I know a lot of people, you guys aren't really trying to get a whole 20-30 minute synopsis breakdown for me on today. A quick recap from last night. Quentin Jackson had him in the core. Of course, got injured, only 15 fantasy points. Martin, he did okay for being out there. Tari Eason, he got to 30. Derek White was really my dud. Took a chance on him at that 7,200 price tag. Figured going up against Utah was an amazing, great spot. Bro just couldn't hit any of his threes. And if he had a better scoring night, he definitely would have broke the slate for his price point. Didn't matter of having Joker inside the lineup or anything else. It just went to complete shit. Of course, didn't expect Isaiah Stewart to get the start over there for the Detroit, which I should have. I definitely overlooked that right there on my own accord, and that definitely screwed me up in regards to another piece of value that we could have had on the slate right there. But you live, you learn. It's every day, and we're just going to keep on trying to get after it and go at it one day at a time. If you guys are new here and you guys enjoying the content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of this stuff your boy does drop over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video. If this video and my other videos content helping you guys win some money. If you guys hate the title of how to win 100,000, 50,000, or any of that stuff over here that I use, guys, understand. This is my game plan, my process of what I believe that can help you win $100,000. That's why the title says how to win 100,000. It doesn't say you're going to win $100,000. It says how to win. So unless you guys got a better title that'll help get clicks, because this is YouTube, got to get the click somehow. Got to give you a good engaging title for you to be able to actually pay attention and understand, especially for those that are coming here for the first time. So if you guys don't like the title, granted, I feel like I do this like every couple of months. I do get someone, a troll inside my comments that talks about the title and whatnot. So just letting you guys know, title's kind of here to stay, and it's definitely, it helps get the clicks. It does. So with that being said, looking at the injury report, we got the Bucks on the back of back-to-back taking on the Raptors. A really great spot for Giannis going up against the Raptors. This will be the second time they'll play in the season. This was the Bucks' second game of the year when they play versus them. Kevin Porter Jr. is the only one out. Giannis is probable. I do expect for him to play. Hopefully, they do kind of limit him to start the season and stuff like that. So we'll see about that. For the Raptors, Jakopoto, he's questionable to play. He might be back today. Orlando Magic taking on Atlanta. Only news is the same news that we've had over there. Wagner and Trae Young for both those teams. For the Charlotte Hornets, it already came out that Ball is going to be out. So LaMelo will be out. Then on the flip side of things, Zion, already with a hamstring injury. He's going to be missing some time over there for them. And then, of course, DeJounte Murray is still out for those guys over there. For Philly, looks like they got Jared McCain. He is back. He's expected to play some limited minutes on tonight. Barlow, Paul George, they're both still out. For the Chicago Bulls, Ayo Dosunmu is the real piece that we want to know about over here. He is questionable to play. If you guys are playing the late night slate, I can look at that real quick for you. Ryan Dunn, he's expected to play. Brooks, he is still going to be out, and Jalen Green. Over here for the Golden State Warriors, Al Horford has already been ruled out for them. Jimmy Butler is questionable to play in this game. Melton and Tahuni are out. For the OKC Thunder, Lou Dort, he is questionable. Chet has already been ruled out for us as well. Jalen Williams, the backup, Jay Will, he is questionable to play as well, and so is AJ Mitchell. For the Clippers side of things, they just ruled out Kawhi Leonard. They also ruled out Bradley Beal. So this is going to be the James Harden show over here with Ivica Zubac. And honestly, my Thunder, we have no reason not to win this game, if I'm being honest. They are also on the front end of a back-to-back. Heading over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on the site. If you guys don't have an account, you want one, make sure you guys check the link down in the description box below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the Kang. Starting out, real quick, looking at the studs that we have on the slate, we have Giannis, we have Maxey, we have Paulo, and then we have Josh Giddey. Those are going to be the main studs that we actually have to be able to pay up for. Again, a stud for me is 9K and above. Those are truly like the star stud players that we have. Anyone else that is from the 9K down to the 6K range, that is the mid-tier options right there that we can get to. And typically, that is where we find some of the people that are mispriced and misplaced right there. For the Milwaukee Bucks, looking at them over here again, backing up a back-to-back for them. Giannis, if he's in, amazing, great spot for him to go up against the Raptors versus them earlier this season, 68.5 fantasy points. Didn't play crazy heavy minutes, only 32 minutes yesterday. I imagine much of the same again, 30 plus minutes. He's one of the best studs to pay up for on the slate. It makes sense to go right over there to him. Not worried about what the Raptors have over here in opposing power forwards. They actually have played pretty well going up against them on the year. Miles Turner, 6,200 is not a bad price tag for him. Played 32 minutes last night. Only problem is that Miles Turner, he plays like It's just so with him left and right. Really thought he would have been able to have a big game going up against his former team, but that didn't happen. The only other play that I truly see like is actual good value for his price will be Roland, sitting at that 6,100 price tag. Not a bad night last night with 26.2 fantasy points, 28 minutes last night. Pretty good. We do attack the Raptors with opposing guards. That is a good spot to go ahead and take him at 29.2. I do actually like the upside for him to go out there and get another 28, 30, 35 fantasy points. That's definitely within the cards for him here. Bobby Portis, 5,900, playing off the bench, of course, can get upwards of 20 minutes. Maybe because it is the back end of a back-to-back, we could see him etch up towards that 22, 25-ish minutes. I wouldn't mind that at all. Definitely a GPP option. Kyle Kuzma, he's another one that could be in realm to get a couple more minutes here. Only played 16 minutes last night, 18 in that first game versus the Raptors, 15.2 fantasy points. Definitely is live to go over there and get us a couple more fantasy points there. GPP though, just because it's a wide variety of what we can get from Kuzma. Another GPP option we can look towards is going to be Gary Trent Jr. and not Gary Trent Jr. Cole Anthony, who lit up the Raptors for 43 fantasy points, but he was playing off the bench in that game. Shot very well, which has always been the thing that I've said about Cole Anthony. If we can get him on a good shooting night, he's going to be able to go out there and just deliver, break a slate. We have not really had that consistency from him, so that makes him a GPP option. Honestly, everyone else over here, outside of Giannis, outside of Rollins, really just accelerator plays, really just they're hit or miss. It's okay. I would say Cole Anthony would be one of the better ones you can get to. Gary Trent Jr., we know he's relying on his scoring and also going up against one of his former teams, so definitely wouldn't mind potentially mess with that. On Toronto Raptors side of things, Scotty Barnes, just the do-it-all player that he is, he stuffs the stat sheet. To me, he is the best one out of the trio that you can get over here in Brandon Ingram and RJ Barrett. BI and Barrett, I don't mind going to either one of them. I would say Brandon Ingram has been pretty consistent in regards to scoring, and I don't mind going there. Dropped 42.5 fantasy points versus the Raptors, versus the Bucks earlier this season. I definitely can see myself getting there quickly. We do know we can attack the Bucks with opposing ball handlers and guards. As you can see, 43.2 fantasy points in that first game versus them. I don't mind going right back to quickly. If you don't get yourself up to Scotty Barnes, he has the same upside in regards to getting those assists and playmaking as everyone else. If Murray Bowles, if CMB, if he actually does get the start here and Poto will be out, then I could see him being a potential option. Definitely, we know it's in the cards. He can go out there and get us 30 fantasy points, but he can't go out there and get us 11. Wide variety of what he can get you at 4,600. It is a risk that you will be taking at that option. Granted, there are some better value options that we can get to on today's slate that we don't have to necessarily go there to him. But if Poto does get ruled out, then it is live for Mama for the little blah, him to get some looks as well in regards to minutes. GPP option though, I would primarily focus on CMB as a potential play over there for them. Going over to Philly, taking on Chicago Bulls. To me, Joel Embiid, good spot, decent position for him to be able to go out here and give you a pretty great fantasy point production outing. Eventually, he's going to get back up to his normal minutes. I would imagine here in this spot, we should get Embiid for another 25, maybe 28 minutes here. Usage is pretty high. I don't mind it, but it's not necessarily. For me, Tyrese Maxey would be the main play you want to get to. He's been lights out with Embiid, without Embiid, with players being back, without players. With McCain being back into the rotation, I think that is going to eat into a Quentin Grimes, especially if he's going to be playing off the bench. Quentin Grimes, maybe a little bit of VJ Edgecombe, maybe a bit for Kelly Oubre Jr., but I do think Kelly Oubre Jr. is a decent potential option in play. We have seen it, the Bulls, they play pretty fast. You can go out there and get up and down on the Bulls. We have seen opposing fours be able to have some decent games. Look at what OG Anunoby, Malik Bridges, Karl-Anthony Towns were able to do going up against the Bulls just recently. Not a bad position spot for Kelly Oubre Jr. to go out here and have a decent day. With that being said, Tyrese Maxey, look what Brunson just did going up against the Bulls as well. Tyrese Maxey is in a great spot to continue doing what he has already been doing on the season. Those assists, they are definitely live for him. A floor for a builder if you're looking for it for your props. 6 assists. That's a nice floor right there, especially with Embiid playing. We know he can dish the rock and get it down to the big man as well, especially because he will have such a high usage. Outside of that, I really do not see myself going to anyone else over here. With Embiid being back, with another player being back into the rotation, it's no need to try to get cute over here. Tyrese Maxey, best play. Secondary would be Kelly Oubre Jr. and maybe a sprinkle of Joel Embiid if you want to get crazy over there. We just got to see how that rotation stuff shakes out before we really truly dive more into that over there. On the Chicago Bulls side of things, Vooch is in a great spot. You're not going to have to deal with Embiid for a full 30 plus minutes that you're actually out there on the court. Your ability to stretch the floor and the aggressiveness that we're seeing from Vooch is good. 7,900, it makes sense to play Vooch over playing Embiid. I like it. Just the way it looks at the end of the day. Outside of that, Josh Giddey, I mean, the kid is just amazing, and he's getting up there to being in the same talks of like, hey, it's Luka. That's all I got to say. Josh Giddey, it's the same thing. Opposing guards going up against the 76ers, they've actually been playing pretty well this season. Giddey's usage is just sky high. If you don't want to play Giddey and you want to pivot, then definitely come down here to Trey Jones, 5,500. He's stuffing the stat sheet and he's playing minutes. It makes sense. as a good mid-tier option that you can get to instead of having to pay up for Giddey. I do not mind that at all, especially because Giddey is priced up there with the other studs that we do have on the slate. If AO misses, I imagine maybe we will see a couple more minutes for players like Kevin Huerter over there, Isaac Okoro, Patrick Williams. That'll be where you probably will see some more of those minutes divert to. Buzelis, I don't mind it as a GPP option, not a must-play to me on the slate. Primarily over here for the Bulls that we want to get to will be Josh Giddey, Vucevic, Trey Jones, especially for the value that he is on the slate. Orlando Magic taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Over here, we already know where all the usage and everything comes from for them. Paulo, France, Desmond Bane. Bane has not looked good, and I know it's going to be a game where he's going to eventually pop off. Probably won't have him on that slate, and I don't think I'm going to have him here. 6,500, he is viable if you want to make multiple lines. Definitely would be someone you keeping it playable, but we know a lot of it's going to flow through Paulo. Go out there, get you about a good 40, maybe 50 fantasy points. Not a must, but definitely is in, of course, the stud range for the studs that we do have up here that we can't pay for. France, I do like his price tag, 7,700. He's stuffing the stat sheet in all categories, and he's been pretty consistent so far to start the year. If you want to pay down, definitely makes sense to go down here to him at that 7,700 price tag. But the real steal of the show over here for the Magic will be Wendell Carter Jr. at 5,500. He is playing close to 30 minutes. As long as he stays out of foul trouble, he is getting the burn. The game stays close enough, he is playing. And opposing centers have been playing really well going up against the Hawks. We just saw Evan Mobley, 38 fantasy points. Isaiah Jackson, 25 fantasy points. Nick Claxton, 37 fantasy points. Vucevic, 56 fantasy points. Isaiah Hartenstein, 34 fantasy points. Wendell Carter Jr., 5,500, definitely in the realm to be able to go out there and get us another 30 plus fantasy point outing in this position, possible for a double-double. It is live right there for him. Outside of that, we know Suggs, he's still kind of limited in regards to what they're doing. Definitely Anthony Black at 5K. The price is getting a little bit rich, but definitely playable. You can mess with Silva off the bench, but his range of outcomes is kind of wide. And then, of course, if Wendell gets himself into foul trouble, we will see Goga get the burn and run. And Goga is a really great fantasy point for minute producer when he's out there on the court. You definitely can mess with that and go to there on the other side. On the Hawks side of things, of course, with Trae Young being out, we're seeing, of course, Dyson Daniels. He's primarily facilitating, doing all those things out there. And then, of course, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he is running some point with Keaton Wallace off the bench. Keaton, he will be back today. We should expect probably 15-ish minutes or so, like what he's been playing already. Definitely makes for an interesting value option, but I will say primary ball handlers versus Orlando. That's when where we've attacked them. Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dyson Daniels, both these guys are going to definitely be in play. Hopefully one of the two of them can actually give us a good assist outing. I do think the upside for Dyson Daniels, just because he does bring a lot in regards to defense and getting those steals, consistent in regards to probably, again, going to be one of the steal leaders. I know my boy Casey Wallace is going to give him a run for his money this year, but the scoring, that's what I said before, was like we just need to see him actually score. When he actually gets the scoring to go along with what he does with everything else, it is going to be a great day for Dyson Daniels. And 6,600, that's pretty cheap going here versus the Orlando Magic. I do like the price. I do like the position. I do like the spot for him. If you can't get up to him, then of course Nickeil Alexander-Walker, just because he does have that 3-point boost that we can get to, and we know he will facilitate and he will go out there and score as well. Definitely don't mind going to him as a potential option. Outside of that, Johnson, he's there, 8,600. Going to be primarily having to defend, deal with Paulo. I don't mind it. We know we can get a realm of 40-ish fantasy points from him. That's not a bad position spot to be able to take. Okongwu off the bench, we know he's playing roughly 25-ish minutes. It's going to be crazy to get there, and I still firmly believe and stick with it. Even if you're a 6-man, if I can get that value for you underneath 6K or at 6K, I will take it. But you're above 6,200, it makes me hesitant, to say the least, to even click on his name to play him. KP, he's there, he's playing. Of course, more shots and stuff to go around for him, especially with Trae Young being out. If he knocks down 3-ball, it's a good day for him. I highly doubt Wendell Carter Jr. is going to want to come out the paint to really guard him out there on the perimeter. So it could be a good day for Kristaps Porzingis to give us a really great outing. If you don't want to play up for Jalen Johnson, it makes sense to go to Kristaps Porzingis. Charlotte Hornets taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Like I said, we got the news that our boy LaMelo Ball, he will be out today. He is not going to be playing. So, of course, we should see what we saw last time, where we saw Colin Sexton going ahead and taking the helm and being out there and starting the lineup. And then, of course, they should go ahead and start Zion James. He should be out there as well. With that being said, Colin Sexton, 6,700 versus the Pelicans, who play little to no defense out there. It makes sense. Everyone over here on the Hornets are in play. Everyone, honestly, in this game, this is a stackable game, fast-paced game. You're missing your star players on both sides. We know players are going to have to step up. Miles Bridges, no LaMelo Ball being out there, no Brandon Miller, 8,300. I don't have to really talk too much in regards to what he can go out there and do. We've seen it back-to-back games versus the Minnesota and Utah Jazz, both two teams who are missing players and also just a bad defensive team in Utah, that we can go ahead and take Miles Bridges. It's going to be the same thing here versus the Pelicans. Not going to be dealing with Zion. Maybe Trey Murphy tries to go out there and play some pretty good defense on you, but maybe not. Outside of that, Colin Sexton, as long as he can go out there and get a shot to fall, which we have seen him have better shooting days than what he had versus Utah, slowly and eventually got there to 30-plus fantasy points, and he could definitely do more for us. Knipple, he's out there. Dude is shooting lights out. Love the upside for him. Definitely do not mind him at that 5,500 price tag. It makes sense over there. Ryan is definitely in play. We have seen centers go out here and dominate and play really well versus the Pelicans. Hartenstein 48, Zubac 36, the Joker 59. If he can go out there and rebound, do everything that he's done, and just play upward sources 30 minutes, I do think the upside is definitely there for him. If it's not going to be Ryan, then of course DBT, which looks like they are kind of splitting those center minutes. We could definitely see DBT, which we do know he's a really great fantasy point per minute producer when he's out there on the court. I don't mind going to either one of these guys at that position. If Zion James does get the start, definitely he's showing that he belongs, and I like the upside, but pretty heavily relying on his scoring. Kind of the same thing with Trey Mann, even though I do know he can stuff the stat sheet in other areas, but Trey primarily used for his scoring. 4,800, not a bad price tag, but not a heavy must. On the Pelican side of things, no Zion. Messi is questionable, so we might get Kevon Looney out here in the starting lineup. If Looney starts, and Looney actually is going to be playing upwards to 20-25 minutes, that's a good value option you can get to right there. But I really just feel like they should be giving my boy Queen more run. Like, he was playing some pretty good minutes, and then all of a sudden is just dropping off. Even if they start Queen, I definitely would love going to Queen, because this is gonna be a spot where he can actually dominate and have a really great day. Definitely be someone I would keep inside my back pocket as a potential option. If they're starting Fierce, which looks like that's what they're doing, Fierce is gonna be highly owned, one of the top value options on the slate. I don't see any reason not to want to go right there to him as a potential option. And then of course, with the injuries and stuff that they have going on over here, it's gonna be the Herb Jones, it's gonna be the Trey Murphy and the Jordan Poole show that we're gonna be focusing on. I will say the last time that we had the Zion out and Trey Murphy, he was like, yo, he should go out here and have a good day. Didn't really deliver in that position spot, but back-to-back 38 and 32 fantasy point outings, I definitely think the upside could be there, especially if his shot is falling, which we just saw Lord Larkin just light up the Charlotte Hornets. It should be a close game. It should be good enough. I definitely do like the upside. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully, you guys were able to get something from this. Good luck on today's slate. We'll have my core and everything else posted up a little bit closer to lock. You guys already know. Going to wait for starting lineups and things like that. Good luck, everybody. Take down that 100K for me. Peace.